Also, I'm thrilled, Joe, thank you very much for inviting me. I was here 5 years ago at another one of these symposiums at the Age Lab and learned so much. Tony Green's here with me, and we're in a world that never touches what you talk about. We're in real estate development, and yet everything we do is directly related to the issues that you have brought up. So for us, we see Joe's book as a market, and that means opportunity, business opportunity. And in this case, we're looking at design and how that might impact what we're looking at. And for you, I have 3 stories. Here's the first. It's about a firm in Los Angeles named Commune. It's a design collective, and they focus on enhancing life through design, exactly what our panelists are talking about. In this case, they are designing stores. This is Heath Ceramics, which is an old California brand from the 40s that sells beautiful pottery. They've also done displays at LA County Museum of Art, and then they're also in the hotel design business. So they'll take an old building and put a beautiful roof deck on, and the Ace Hotel in downtown LA transformed a neighborhood. So when I saw that there was a talk with Roman Alonso, who's the designer at Commune, with Francis Anderton from KCRW about designing for the ages, and the subtitle indicated for old people, I'm like, wow, I'm going to this. And Roman said, why do I have to look forward to this in my old age? Couldn't they design something that looked more like this? ARP has called Disrupt Aging an initiative that challenges outdated beliefs. That's one of them right there. The language with which we talk to people is horrifying. Can't more people choose how they live as they age? The language of being old, I love this. This is at the Ace Hotel in Palm Springs. I would like to go to a place that had a stargazing platform and a massage yurt. I'm 70 years old. I don't want to suddenly give up the cool and sexy. I want this forever. And one of the funniest things that Roman said in this speech was, I would rather live in this retail jewelry store than in Sun City West. So, what Joe has in the book, he talks about design that excites and delights. This is the Ace Hotel in Palm Springs, designed for Marcy's generation. I'd love to stay there too. Now, our second story is about an event that happens in Los Angeles. And it was Ciclavia was started in 2010 by 12 hipsters who said, look around LA. We have more streets than we have parks. Let's take the streets back. Let's close them down and get rid of the cars one Sunday a month, and invite people to come and where they can walk or skate or skateboard or ride a bike or whatever they feel like, and let's just see who shows up. Well, guess what? Everybody showed up. It was really amazing. It cut across the spectrum of ages and people and street vendors, and even dogs. And one of my favorite banners that I've ever seen in LA, Los Angeles is like your brain. You only ever use 20% of it, but imagine if we used it all. Just what we're talking about today. So we saw that there were the 70-year-old skateboarders, but a team of ARP people came and observed there were some people on the sidelines. How could they change that and engage them as participants as well? They did these bike rickshaws, pretty simple, and it turned out that it wasn't just old people getting in them, it was everybody getting in them. People who got tired got in them. So that notion of situational disability is true for all of us. One of the funniest things I ever heard was a 41-year-old friend of mine, Amy Levi, who said when we were talking about assisted living coming to the Pine Hills, Tony, she said, I would like some of that assisted living. We would all love some of these services. And then the other thing that the ARP team did is they created a play zone where old and young and everybody in between could hang out together. And if you were tired, you had a nice place to sit down. This is a quote from Joe's book that I just loved. It's possible to climb into your customer's head, through deliberate acts of empathy, an approach that can pay out surprising dividends down the line. I think that's exactly what this ARP team did. Here, you see grandparents in the bike rickshaw from Kansas City with their son, his husband, and their grandson, all together at Ciclavia. That's hard to beat. And then our third story is about Daybreak, a place in Salt Lake City. It has the wonderful, biggest open pit mine in the world. Kennecott Copper's been there for over 100 years mining. And it's just 19 miles from downtown Salt Lake City. So Kennecott had 4,100 acres of leftover land. What were they going to do with that? And what was the business opportunity there? They created a new village. Today, 12 years later, it has 5,000 people living there. It's schools, charming retail street with a bakery, a bank, a one-chair barber shop. And it's an amazing place. LDS, again, a lot of Mormons, just an outdoor nirvana. Just a fantastic place for families. They realized when they started Daybreak they wanted to get transportation. That's essential for everyone. And they worked with Trax, and today Trax comes right into the community, 2 stops, one of which is at the University of Utah Medical Center, which is in that Intermountain group that's just phenomenally superb. So here's a cool fact for you. 88% of the kids walk or bike to school. What's interesting is that what works for kids also works for another group of people who don't drive, older people. And Kisco Senior Living found Daybreak and thought, you know what? We've been in this business for 30 years. How can we redesign what we do in a community like this? First, they worked with IDEO and said, what does aging look like now? And they said that it clearly had to be how people are going to be living in the future would affect their land acquisition strategy. This is a map of Daybreak, and right in the center is where Kisco's Sagewood is located. So it went from segregated to integrated, from cut off to connected. I feel like I should sing opera now. What do you think? Yeah. I'm liking this, Joe. Was this planned? Anyway, so they picked this spot right in the center of Daybreak. They have a cafe that Roman Alonso clearly needed to get a hold of and make a little bit better. But it turned out to be a place that they could do catering into the community from the cafe. And they had weddings at this place. People loved this new place that was for the old folks. They also are located directly across the street from a school, just what you were talking about earlier. How do we engage the full community? This is pre-K through 3rd grade. The kids came and did a Guinness Book of Record stepping thing that they won. And also these girls come once a week and do dance with the 3 women you see in this photograph. We thought that Garden Park, which had 500 homes right across the street from Sagewood, would be the source of people into this community. No, 2 families have moved into Sagewood. It turned out that Daybreak and the 5,000 people who live there saw this as an incredible asset as adult children wanted to take care of their parents. And 90% of the people who live there have come from Michigan or Arizona or California or Salt Lake City downtown, and have become members of this community because it meets the medical needs, it meets Joe, can you walk and get an ice cream cone need, and it meets that need of your doctors. University of Utah Medical Center brings 3 geriatricians into the community every single week. So it's pretty awesome. And of course your grandchildren are there. So I want to finish with a little video that's one of my favorite stories about this place. About 12 years ago, a family came to look at Daybreak to figure out if they wanted to live there. And their son said to his parents, I absolutely want to live here, when he saw the trails. And this video will show you that story. Oops. If it goes, grant access.
can't wait to go outside.
We're just trying to keep up with him.
His parents understand how important it is to give him freedom, but you can't blame them for being concerned at first. You see, when Tony was born, he stopped breathing for about 10 minutes. Doctors revived him, but
It caused damage to his brain that affects his muscle control. And so what he has is cerebral palsy. That's what he's diagnosed with.
he has no control of his muscles. But he is very intelligent, understands everything you're saying, and talks to you using his computer keypad.
It means a lot. That people really cares about me.
He's very brilliant. He's taken college classes in calculus and chemistry and done a lot of classes, done very well.
And almost every day, Tony comes here to Soda Row at the daybreak, where the owner of the bakery gives him cookies for himself and his family. Then he heads down the street to the bar and grill, where he gets bacon. Not for himself, but for his dog, Buck.
Oh yeah, we love Buck. You betcha.
Van Peck owns that bar and grill, The Break, and has seen Tony rolling by for almost 2 years now.
I fell in love with Tony. We became buds.
So recently, Peck and some friends got together and did something for Tony. They tricked out his wheelchair, painting it, getting fenders, and maybe the coolest thing of all, speakers. Tony loves music.
Oh, he got me. Yeah, when we brought that chair out, the smile on his face was enough. It was beautiful.
Now he's like all the other kids, listening to music, going down the street.
He doesn't think of himself as with a disability. He never really has done that. I was just, I can do it.
And now he and Buck are doing it in style.
I need my speakers, but the thoughtfulness of these people is what really surprised me.
In South Jordan, Alex Guerrero, KSL 5 News.
So I would call that an example of transcendent design. Thank you.